So this is definitely one of the continued trends, having people understand how to use their email lists. And some of the things that have been added to some of the traditional email marketing tools that we use is SMS marketing. And I see some of the groups that Kayla's team supports also are using it. So I'm quite excited. If they're on the call, I'll stop and ask at that point if they happen to be on the call and how they're finding it. But I'm going to be focusing mainly on email marketing, and I'll be throwing in a little bit on SMS marketing, and I'll be explaining what both are, what the benefits are. I sent to Kayla the PowerPoint, the mighty PowerPoint, far too many slides, as she said, because I wanted to be thorough. I think I have 70 slides, but don't worry, I won't be I'll be going over the highlights, but you'll have all of it. And I have a lot of resources in there, which I hope you'll find helpful. And I've tried to make all the links clickable through because it's a PDF that you'll be getting. Okay, in that note, let the show begin. Email marketing and SMS, as I added. And here we go. So today's agenda, why is email marketing important? Why is SMS marketing important? How to increase your clients and credible relationship. You don't want to be seen as spam, and best practices and tools. And so I'll be going over this on the right, just happens to be an old email that I've been using as an example, and shows a header, it shows an image, and down here it actually shows a video. So I'm going to be going over all of those elements. And just in basic, you kind of want to take a step back and think all my emails that go out should have a header, which is what this one has up here. Whoops. It should have probably also put their um, their website up there so it was clickable through. And then at the bottom, if you went there, you would see that they have a footer. So almost like a website, a header and a footer. And then in the center, you're allowed to have like, things that'll catch their attention. But the difference is with email marketing, it's friendly. It'll actually open quickly and it'll get through people's firewalls. So let's go see what I'm talking about. So why is it important? So think about it for a second. Why is email marketing important to you as a business? Why is it important? So think about that for a second. So answer is email blasts. So if you are to send an email with a whole bunch of twos, like people that it's sent to in the to field, it's very unprofessional because you don't want to share other people's emails, especially if they don't know each other, with the other person. People still do that, and it's very unprofessional, and it's actually illegal with privacy. You're not supposed to be sharing emails that you have a relationship with others. And when you do that, it is viewed by everybody, so that's bad. That's bad form. It's caught in spam filters. When you do that, most of the tools we have allow you to put many, many emails. Some of them it's just 50, some are 300 in the to field. So if you're using Microsoft Teams or if you're using Google, you can put all sorts of emails in the to field. And then that gets caught in spam filters. So your email won't get to the person. Other than if it did, it would seem unprofessional. What some people do is they put all those emails that they're sending it to in the BCC, in the blind copy area, carbon copy, BCC. And then that definitely gets caught in the spam filter because they put their own email, so it looks like it's from and to the same person, and the person receiving the email, they're not even in the to field, so that gets caught. I will never open anything that I see as to a whole bunch of people, and I will never open anything that I see they don't know my name. So it is privacy law violation. So that's why it's important. So email marketing using something like MailChimp that I see many of you are using, Constant Contact that I see many of you are using. It's professional. It's filter friendly. So when you're spam filter on your computer, or if you're working for a company, it's got to go through your virtual private network, your VPN, and it's going through a spam filter then or a firewall. It's friendly. It actually has been built so it'll get through the firewall and you'll actually receive it. It can then also give you reports. I love reports. It'll show you how many people opened it. It'll show you who opened it. So say you sent it to 300 people, it'll actually show you of those 300. It might tell you that 26% opened it. Don't know why I just said 26%. The average opening rate in many of them that I send out are 33%. If they've actually come to a workshop and they're expecting an email from me afterwards, it's almost 80% that open it. If it's a email that's not done properly, and I'll show you what's important in an email, you might get, if you're lucky, 5% opening it. So, but it'll tell you the percentage, but also exactly who opened it. And if you have links in that email linking to, here's an event you might be interested in, and then there's another link in your email that you sent to them saying, here's a blog on this information, it'll show you who of those 33% opened the email. Then it'll also show you exactly who clicked on which link. So now you have narrowed who you're going to follow up with, because you know that they're interested in that email had an event and they're interested in that event. So then you can do something called workflow automation, or automatic workflow. Workflow automation is a little more professional. Workflow automation. So you can have your email set up automatically so that if you know somebody has clicked on one of your links, that you can say in 2 days from now, I want another follow up just to those who have clicked on it with more information about what they clicked on. That is powerful. When MailChimp and Constant Contact first came out, they didn't have that automation. So that's powerful. I used to manually go through and create another list of people that opened up, that link. So I would follow up on with them specifically. But you can have the workflow do that for you. And I'll show you how that happens. And again, like I said, it's privacy law friendly. You cannot send out one of these tools, MailChimp or Constant Contact, unless at the bottom it will put in for you, let me say, it'll put in for you an unsubscribe. So people can unsubscribe from your emails. And what will happen is it'll automatically go into those emails and unsubscribe. The way you collect emails, it helps you with that as well. And I'll show you that, where you can put on your website or in a Facebook link if you want. Click here to subscribe to my emails. And then that means they've explicitly given you permission to send them emails. So Constant Contact or MailChimp knows that you actually do have explicit permission to send them emails. If you have a relationship with somebody, you are allowed to send them emails as well about what you have a relationship with them. If you have received somebody's email because you have a relationship with them, then your relationship goes away. If they haven't given you what's called explicit permission, you only have a couple of years, it's called implicit then, to send them emails. I'm not going to get into too much of that because most of the emails I think you're sending out, you have explicit emails permission. So one of the things I wanted to share with you, some new information I've been keeping an eye on, is so email marketing, you're going to see in my next slide, is more powerful than social media posts as far as the response you get. But what's interesting is that SMS marketing has even a higher open rate than email open rates. So they're showing that in statistics that email open rates are around 28%, which I think is correct. Because like I say, I see sometimes 33 upwards to 60%, 70% opening my emails when I'm using it properly. So they're saying 28%, and this is new information that I just received. And SMS, which is text message marketing, is opened almost 98%. Now, many of us aren't using it yet, when it be and it's not too spammy yet. You need a relationship, just like you do with an email and collecting that information. You need explicit approval by somebody to send them a text message. And so I'll show you how that's done because a couple of you are actually doing that really well, I saw. So open rates are a little bit click-through rates. The CTR click-through rates are a little higher on text messages than they are on emails, which I thought was interesting. Conversion rates mean if you are asking them to, do something where you're not just going to click through, but you're actually going to buy something, or you're going to sign up for an event. The conversion rates are almost 30%, where they're only 15% on email. And the read rate is pretty high on both. And what they're saying, the return on investment is $10 you return for every dollar spent. I'm not sure how you would find that return on investment based on something that's a nonprofit, but that's another story. All I'm saying is that it's something that's being more and more acceptable. So then email versus social media. Email, as far as what people check first thing in the morning, is their email. You're going to find another stat I have later saying that they check their text messages almost hourly. So it's interesting. So email, you're going to check first thing in the morning, see what you have outstanding that day. And then when it comes to the news, 5% of people will check the news first in the morning. I know I always ask Google to tell me what the global news is. Search, they'll go to Google and do some searches on their own. Their company's intranet, if they are a part of a larger company that has a intranet, they'll check that first thing in the morning. And then 14%, I think that's got to be higher. This statistic showed that only 14% of people go to social media in the mornings. So, what topics would you use email marketing for? Towards the end of this presentation, I will share with you what topics you would use SMS marketing for. And I better start timing myself. Okay. So what topics would you use email marketing for, do you think? So I want you to just think about that for a second. So let's go and see. So targeted personalized content. So if you are sending somebody that you know is interested in starting up a new company and they need mentor help, and you could say, in the email, specifically introducing our mentor program. So that could be very cool. Or if you're looking for mentors and you have people who are seasoned business people and they are receiving something targeted to them saying looking for mentors. So that the content that builds credibility, showing that you are a leader in whether it's, showing young people how to build their credit rating, or anyone how to build their credit rating. And then you're able to show them examples, and you are maybe wrote a blog, a video, content that shows that you are credible in your knowledge area. So people want knowledge. They want to know that it was meant for them. Content that boosts client intake. So if you're looking for new clients, so you're sharing information about an event or a new program that you're offering. So again, your client intake. Content that builds stronger customer relationships. If you have an easier toolkit, as I know you have a toolkit, economic toolkit that you might be sharing. So you're making it easier for your customers or members to have a relationship and to build their own economic wealth. Topics that optimize productivity. So if you're giving them tools that'll optimize their business, and topics that direct traffic to sign up for events and services, as I already said. So you want to think about that. Yeah, I do this through the week, through the month, through the year. So when I am doing my social media content plan, don't forget to also include in that an email targeted plan. Okay, so it's a matter of if you are collecting emails appropriately now. And if you're not, then you want to start. And then think about, as you have events coming up through the year, which ones would make sense to send out emails and to who. So if you may want to send emails to certain types of people that are in certain types of industries, perhaps, then we'll talk about segmentation. How do you know if somebody is a seasoned business person? How do you know if somebody came to one of your workshops? So I'll show you that. That's called segmentation. So it's a matter of when you're collecting their information, you're finding out what they might be interested in going forward. So you can send them only what they're interested in. So those are some topics that you might think about in your own business on how you send them. So what you're going to do first is to find your audience. So you have an audience of emails. So how might you be sending them? What might you be sending them? And in that case, what do I need to know about my list? It's not just the emails I want on a spreadsheet. I want to know perhaps where they live, perhaps the industry they're in. Maybe they're a community partner. Maybe they are a business owner. So what type of topics would you be sending out? That's how you're going to define your audience, and then build a credible list. The tool itself will let you know the first time you send out an email to a list, how many bounce. It will take those out, so it's not, so it's not bouncing all the time. So you want a credible list. You will also know how many people open your email. So that tells you too, they're interested. They're interested. So the segments I'm going to get to, personalization. So if I get an email where in the subject it says, something about going to a ski school. Well, I don't ski. I used to. I wish I did still, but I don't ski, so I'm not going to open that. I know it's spam. But if someone is sending me something saying in the subject, Sophie, your next event, well, I know it's something I'm interested in, or Sophie, your AI workshop, so if it's got my name in the subject, you can do that. That's called personalization. That's something that these tools allow you to do. So you might have a list, but you can't send out it with their first name in the subject, or when they open up the email with their first name right there, if you didn't collect their first name. So when you're collecting the emails in the first place, you want to ask for an email, first name, next field, last name, and then the next field is however you want to segment your list. So you're going to optimize your email as well for mobile, because a large percentage, I think it's 61% now or more, are opening it up with their cell phones. So you don't want to send out PDFs because they just don't look right. Sometimes they take forever to open. So you want to send a link. Anything you normally put in a PDF, you should have it as a blog on your website. First of all, your website, a PDF on your website, if you have your newsletters as a PDF, if you have upcoming events as a PDF, Google can't see it. And those 61% of people who are opening it up on their cell phones can't see it. So it'd be better to create a blog for those things. So that's optimized for mobile. They can see a blog because it's going to just show the text and the photos that are in that message. So much more effective. Better understand best practices, which I will share with you all the best practices for emails, sending them out, and use tools like MailChimp to help with the productivity and the automation. So why is defining your potential target market important? Because you need to create a personal persona as to who it is that you're sending your emails to. Um, because not everyone is interested in every single thing you're going to send out an email about. So I know my emails are segmented by cities because sometimes I'll do a workshop that is for London, Ontario, that is for everybody that happens to be a business person, in the Kawarthas, everyone that happens to be a business person in Timmins. So I have business people set up by city because I know if I'm physically doing something, only those that city. I also have personas as economic development professionals, as community future, professionals, like the people I work with, chamber of commerce professionals who might be interested in tools and so what is your persona? Who are they? And then you need to get to know your target audience. Okay. Anyways, I have a link there that you can find out more about that. So how do you define your target audience? As I said, are they an employer or an employee? In your case, you probably have employees that maybe are looking for jobs people that are unemployed. I should have put that. Unemployed, are they employed? Are they employers? Maybe those are some of your segments. You might want to know, have they already used your services, past services? Are they new? They've never worked with you before. What are their interests? Are they students, industry, and perhaps where they actually live? Those are things you may want to know. So how do you even start building your list? So you want to place a place for you want a form for them to sign up. They need to physically check a box or to give you their email or cell phone and submit it. That gives you explicit permission to send them information on what they're talking about. You can't then sell that list. You can't give that list to anyone because they didn't give them permission. They gave your organization permission. You can't use somebody else's list either because they didn't give you permission. So the sign up forms, you can put them on your website, on your social media. If you're at an event, you can have a physical piece of paper where they sign up and they have to just do a little checkbox saying that you are allowed to send them information. So past events, so if you have, like I said, current clients or past clients, you can send them emails for a certain period of time as well. So here's an example. When I went to one of your websites, I saw that you had which was great, Let's Subscribe. And right here, you can see Let's Subscribe. They click on it, and then this opens. You put in the person puts in their email. So I put my email, and it says continue. And what I like, this tool, this little form is automatically when you go into your Constant Contact tool or to your MailChimp tool, when you are setting up your list and you set up your account, it says, would you like a sign up form? And you said, sure. So when they said, yes, I want a sign up form, it said, okay, what do you want it to look like? So here it says, I just want their email. So I say continue. And then it says, okay, what else do you want to know about them? So this is what you're asking. So in this case, they're asking SFNS continually strives to send out information that you'll find. So they tell you why you're going to get the email, what they're going to do. So the little stars means that they want that information for sure. The email, first name, and last name. I love that they've split it up. So the first name, why is that important? Because now if they send me a personalized email, it'll say, hello, Sophie, versus just hello, random person. And then it asks me what I'm interested in. So they have 4 streams of emails that send out: employment opportunities, monthly newsletters, regional news and events, and workshop information sessions. So I said the last 3 because I'm interested in those 3. So then they have to check that they're not the person has to say they're not a robot and sign up, and you're done. So again, when you went in to Constant Contact, this one is created by Constant Contact. They're all the same when it comes to the fact that they'll help you set this up. So then they'll give you a link saying, put this on your website. So that's what happens is this subscribe now is just a button. And on there, it links to the link that Constant Contact gave them. And then when someone fills this information in, it automatically goes into Constant Contact. Explicit permission has been given by this character, Sophia Andrell, that's me, and she has been put into 3 different lists. She's only in there once, but you can send out a monthly newsletter. Okay, I've said yes. I would like your monthly newsletter. If I said only employment opportunities, I would only get your employment opportunity e-news. I would not get your monthly newsletter. See what I mean? So that's pretty cool. So that's how you do it. Here's another one. Oh, yes. And so then after you press submit, it says, thank you. We've added you to our mailing list. And then what I like, Constant Contact automatically says, note in each email you receive, there will be a link to unsubscribe or change your areas of interest. So I played with that afterwards, and sure enough, it worked. I was able to go in and change my areas of interest if I wanted to. So that's great. So here's another one, and this one is done by MailChimp, I believe. And this one is, yes, it's done by MailChimp because MailChimp allows SMS in Canada. Constant Contact, I believe, only allows it in the US right now. So this one is from Oneida Nation of the Thames. So they have a beautiful link on their website as well. And it says, would you like to, become part of our opt-in to our email and SMS distribution? So first name is mandatory. Last name, email is always mandatory. First name and last name are mandatory, which I'm happy about because now you can personalize it to Sophie. The phone number is optional, which is great because not everybody's going to want text messaging, but they've started it. So I don't know if they're on the line. I can't see comments on here. I can just see my screen, unfortunately. But I'd love to know how it's working and how long they've been doing this. Because like I said, it's not everybody is comfortable with it yet. But I'm finding the younger humans that are out there prefer to get the text message. If there's an event coming up, they want to be reminded. If there's something timely happening, they would rather get a text message than an email. So I'm just curious how you guys are using it. And I was just loved seeing it. And what I didn't show you, and I should have, there is a drop-down list where they ask, are you a community member? And then they ask what type of community member you are. I just put in educational. And then it said your SMS phone number. So it added your SMS phone number. Again, it's not a star, so someone doesn't have to do it. And then it asked, are you on or off settlement? So they know that as well. So they've collected some great information. And then once you want to subscribe, you have to indicate that you are not a robot by clicking that subscribe. And then they get then they get a list, a notice on their screen saying that you've been successful. And then you also get an email saying that you are now subscribed, which is kind of cool. So then if I go to excuse me. One thing I've noticed is a lot of people aren't doing this, and I recommend you do this. What is this? So what happens after you create an email and send it out, a newsletter and send it out, they automatically create well, that's not a link. Should have been a link. They automatically, for each email you send out, Constant Contact or MailChimp will create a link to it. So that means someone can click on that and see the entire newsletter. And what you should do is put that on your website. So a lot of people are putting PDFs of their newsletters on their website. Remember, Google can't read it. It's not text friendly. It's not friendly to your cell phone. So if you're going to start using these tools, you should also then say past newsletter issues. If you want to see them, click on that and just add the link to the newsletters you sent out. So again, what am I saying? I'm going to show you some of the how to create a newsletter. Once it's done and it's distributed, it will automatically give you a link to that newsletter. You can use that link as a social media post. People will automatically get that in a newsletter to them anyhow, like the newsletter. But you can also use that as a link on your website saying, click here. And this is just one I was going to show you. That show place happens to be a performing arts theater that I noticed had the link of past newsletters, which I loved. So why would someone want to sign up for your newsletter? If you just say subscribe, often they're not going to sign up. They say, oh, I don't want another newsletter. Oh, I don't want more email. So here are some things that I call lead magnets. So if you have an ebook that you want to send them, so you have some really cool information that you think they might want, and you've created an ebook on it or a guide or some reports that you think they might want to know. Checklists. People love checklists. You can say, here is the 5 things you need to do around tax time. I'm just thinking of taxes because that's the time we should be thinking of it. Or here are the things you need to do to keep your credit rating up. Here are the things you need. Here's a link to our resource kit. So in what you want to do is give them a PDF or a newsletter with that information on it. But in order to give that to them, collect their email. Have that email collection similar to here, where you're collecting the information you want to know about them, and then send them something. So often people will give you their emails more readily if they know they're getting something in return. So grant information, educational materials, these are things I thought of when I was thinking of some of the people that might be on the line here that might be interested. If you were a retailer, I would say to give them, maybe quarterly or monthly coupons, so it depends on who you are. What would your clients, members feel excited about in getting from you? So these are contests. If you're, again, a retailer or an online merchant, these are other things and ways to collect emails. But if you're business to business, these are this is what's appropriate. So again, why would someone sign up? You might want to be able to give them this information and they'll sign up. So again, I have a link for you that you'll be able to look at when you get the PDF. That one's clickable because it's in blue. And it just shows you again. And again, where do you create this? Your friendly tool will create this for you. It'll help you download the information or the link that you're going to send to them. When somebody signs up, their email, first name and last name here, once they get it, it'll automatically give them the download of what they've requested. So it does it for you. They're very, very, they've thought it through. I started using both these tools when they first came out, and where they've come from and to is amazing. So this is segmentation. I brought it up earlier, so I'm going to go through it quickly. Yes. So why you want to segment? It increases the open rates, bottom line. Of course, it'll increase sales leads. It'll increase call to actions, but it also gets through firewalls better. So what I'm talking about is when you segment your database, you need to ask them the right information when you receive it. So imagine you have an employer grant information session coming up. You want to invite employers. So if you're going to tell people about an employer grant and they're not an employer and they're getting your email, they go, what am I doing this? So that's why, again, if that's something you do, you want to know that they're an employer. Or imagine you have a job fair coming out and you need employers to exhibit. Again, you need to know who are employers. So another one is pretend you have a job fair coming up and you want to tell participants that this is happening, next month, mark your calendars. Well, there you might want to let people know as an SMS, right? That maybe an email to let them know it's happening, and then the reminder as an SMS. So you get to think that through. But again, you need to know that they would be participants versus exhibitors. So there's all sorts of information but I've already been through all of this. And I'm just showing this to you as an example, because these two have thought it through as far as their collecting the data and creating their segmented lists. What's this about? So, this is when you're actually in the back end, and this is MailChimp. This is on MailChimp. You're in the back end and you are creating a sign up form. So you're basically, that is what are you trying to create? You want a newsletter today? Okay, click here. There's all sorts of newsletter templates. Create your newsletter. I'll show you that in a second. There's also create a sign up form. So when you log into MailChimp, do you want a sign up form? Okay, well, here's some templates of sign up forms. You choose the one you want. So I just pretended I was doing this one. Then it said, what do you want to collect? First name, last name, address, phone number, birthdays. And then you're able to add a number of different buttons. Oh, sorry, but number of different fields. And then as you can see, you're either going to make them required or not. The fewer required fields you have, like the fields can be there, but they don't have to fill them in. But I would suggest the first name is mandatory. This is how you would create the form. Again, so I'm in there creating the form. And what happens is you can create your own fields. So you're able, and that's what this is showing in MailChimp, you're able to go in and say, what fields do I want? You can write anything you want. So maybe you want to know what industry the person is in as far as an employer. So you may want to ask the industries they're in. So maybe that's a way you want to segment. It's really up to you. It's how you're going to conduct your business going forward in inviting them to events. So that's a big thing for segmentation. You get to target your emails and demonstrate your expertise. Let me just click over this. Why is personalization important? Because you're going to get a lot more opens with personalization. 70% of people aren't using personalization. So it's a good thing to start using it because it's going to make you more professional and have your emails open more than others. So what do you think personalization means? Like, what do you think you can personalize in these emails? I kind of gave you a hint earlier. Well, you can personalize the name in the subject. So if Kayla's name is in the subject, she's more likely to open it than if her name's not in the subject. You can put it also in the body of it where you say hello Kayla versus just hello valued client, because I'm not going to open that. And then follow-ups based on what they've clicked on. So you can personalize that as well. Very cool, right? So again, like I said, dear valued customer doesn't work as well as hello and the first name. What it lets you do is say you don't have everybody's first name, you just have maybe, a certain percentage of first names. I like using hello because if you don't know their first name, it just leaves it blank. I never use dear because if you don't have their first name, then that looks just kind of stupid. Dear what? So hello is how I always start. I don't think I just start with their first name. Sometimes I do, I guess. George, how are you? Yeah. So I guess I do it without the hello sometimes. So you want to ask for the right information up front. That's the biggest thing. What are mobile friendly emails and why are they important? I already talked about that. But what they say, as I mentioned before, over 60% are currently opening with their cell phones. So another thing that's important is to keep the subject short because as you know, when someone's looking at the subject on an email, only the first couple of words are there. They may not see what's important. So just know that keep the subject short so that you have a better chance of them opening. I like their first name, colon, and then something very short after that. When someone goes and opens your email, make sure that the call to action is big and they can see it. I like to have the call to action up front, especially if they're opening it up in an email on your phone, on their phone. They need to know, click here. If it's small and it's not, and it's hidden, it's at the bottom, you're not going to get the people clicking here to sign up, clicking here to find out more information. I never ever put a date and the time and information in a PDF because people will never open it. They don't see it. I put that right up front in the email. And I find that some people still aren't doing that. They don't put the information someone really needs to know in the email. It's so important. So here's some best practices. The email subject line will either make you or break you. So people, 70% are going to just not use it or not open it if the subject line doesn't make any sense to them. So that's the biggest thing. Your call to action needs to be high up front. Your messaging needs to be short and sweet. So those are some of the important things. Like I said, 70% fail because of the subject line. Never use do not reply if you can. That takes away from the authenticity. What these tools allow you to do is have people reply. Now you can, if this is being sent out by someone senior in your organization, but you don't want, they're not going to deal with all the replies. You can have it come out by someone senior, but have the replies go to somebody who is admin or the project manager who wants to deal with all the replies. So that's a really cool thing too. So you can have it coming out by someone that they'd recognize in the organization. So it looks like it's coming from Jill, who works at, a certain organization, but the replies could go elsewhere. So that's kind of cool. So that's what this talks about, is have the name appear in the who it's from, because people will more likely open it if it looks like it's from a human from your organization versus just some do not reply from your organization. So some of the automation tools I use, Constant Contact and MailChimp are my two big ones that I use. So I'm just going to share with you some of the pricing and information from MailChimp because they now include SMS. How are we doing time-wise? Okay, so as I was going to say before, did you know that 1 in 3 consumers, humans, check their text messages within 1 minute of receiving the message? Okay, so that is interesting. So within 1 minute, because a lot of us have this on vibrate, like mine just did, and they will check their text messages 1 in every 3 people within 1 minute of receiving it. And what they're saying, not only that, but 51% of consumers will respond to a text message within 2 minutes after they've seen it. So you're getting a lot more people seeing it more timely. So they're going to say, later on in the presentation, I'm going to indicate what kind of things do you use SMS for. We talked about the kind of things you would use email marketing for. Type of things you use SMS for, it's a little bit different. It's more timely, time sensitive kind of things that you're going to use it for. And this is some of the pricing. This link will take you there. But it's if I wanted to buy a free um, MailChimp, I can. And it includes so SMS it includes your emails. I can't remember how many emails. I think 500 contacts is the free one, but it does not include SMS. Okay, so the free one, it doesn't include SMS. For $18 a month, it then starts today, due today, send SMS, due today. Oh, and it's $18 a month. I do know that. I'm not sure why it says then starts at $47 a month. Oh, I think they have that's what's going on. They have okay, so it's $18 plus SMS, which is $28. So the first month, I don't think they're charging you for it, and then they do. So it looks like it's starting at $47 a month. I'd have to just check that. But I do think that is more accurate than $18. So the first month they're giving you a break, and you're able to send out your SMS messages. So I just did a workshop last week, and there were a lot of people that were at that workshop that I have a relationship with because I helped them create their websites, and I have their cell phones. So those people that I sent the SMS text message to responded, and they actually came to the workshop. Those that were just emails may or may not have responded. The percentage, again, was much higher with SMS responding. So that's just it's a good tool when you're using it properly. Just don't start spamming people. So there's all sorts of resources, both on Constant Contact, on MailChimp, on how to use your email tools. So first you log in, and this is like MailChimp 101. It's called that, MailChimp 101. You go to it, the resources, it'll take you through how to pick a template. So meaning you take a step back and you see, okay, how do I want to do this? I like using the classic builder because I'm a classy lady, I'm a classic. And in that, it'll come up with, here are all the different ways that you could set up a newsletter. So what do you want it to look like? You're going to have, I like having a logo up front. Then do you want some words? I like having words up front right after the logo. And then maybe I want just one column. Maybe I want two columns. Maybe I want three columns. So this could be a video with information about it. This could be a photo. So it's then, and so they set it up for you kind of like blocks, and it's really easy to fill it in. And they also have, I think I have a copy of this here, where they will also give you, so first you're checking the layouts. Then they're saying, well, do you have, here we have all sorts of themes. Do you like any of these themes? So you might say, you know what? I love this theme. This works so well for me. And then they ask you to go in and choose your colors. So you're going to put in there your font, your colors for your header, your colors for the body, and your colors for the background. You're going to put up your logo and it's going to match your colors. So this is where you're able to match the colors and create a campaign. So once you're now ready to go, in this case, I said, oh, okay, I wanted a logo up here, writing, and I wanted just one column. And I wanted my column to exist of text and a photo. So then all that happens is you can click on the background. It'll let you change the background color. I can click on the logo. This will change over here where I can add a logo. I can click on the text. This will change over here where I'm adding the text. So what I've given you also is this link, create a regular mail campaign. I've also given you at somewhere in here, I think it's the next couple slides, a link to MailChimp video tutorials, and they're really good on how you can create your own information. This is just one of our clients when we sent out some Boxing Day specials. Shop now, that goes back, of course, to their actual store where people can buy it. But what I wanted to show you here is if you click on mobile, and they both do this, MailChimp and Constant Contact, they'll show you what it looks like on the mobile version or on the desktop version. And what I love about this is it'll show you what it looks like in someone's inbox. So you might look at that, go, oh, geez, they're never going to open that. That looks too spammy. So you can change your subject going into the inbox before you even send it, obviously, because that really helps you decide, you know, what's going to work. I always look at my stats afterwards. I look to see which emails had the most opens. So then I know, okay, this technique seems to work. This, I've already shown you this. I don't mean to show this to you again, but the way we were able to get people to sign up for them was that we're giving them an additional warranty on their televisions if they become an EVP. You can also, just like I mentioned before, how you can, you know, when you're planning out your upcoming events, you can do that on your MailChimp or your Constant Contact. They have planners on there too, where you can post schedule a newsletter. So that's pretty cool. Let me just, oh yeah, I like this one. They have all sorts of reports, as I mentioned before, where you can see who opened it, what they opened. But this is called a heat map. I love heat maps. I don't know why, but it's showing me, you can hardly see it, but it shows right here that 50% of the people clicked on this. So it's really big and it says view details. It's a red button. So that I always get a lot more clicks when people see a big red button. Here, this was only 70% clicked on it. So they will actually give you this report showing you who's clicked on what. And that helps you see, okay, obviously people are attracted to that. So I need to do that again. There are a lot of integrations in MailChimp and in Constant Contact. One of them is Canva. Most of us use Canva. We've done the Canva workshop. So what you'll see is you can log into your MailChimp, and then when you're at Canva, you can connect it to your Canva also. So you have access to everything you've ever done on Canva, and you can use that here. So that's really cool. One of the things I didn't get into very much is they also have AI all through MailChimp and Constant Contact. We had together the AI presentation not too long ago, webinar. So in that, you'll find that it's very similar. There's a prompt. You can ask it to improve your spelling, to make it more friendly. You can ask it for ideas. So all of that you're able to do as your regular prompts are built in now to MailChimp. So now I just want to share with you two more things in the 8 minutes. Emails with videos often improve click rate throughs by almost 300%. I can attest to that. So if I send out, when I do workshops for, if I'll have a workshop set up, say in April, and it's on a certain date, if I just send out a newsletter to some of my past clients who I have their emails, letting them know that this workshop is coming up and it's all words, I get some click throughs. As soon as I put a photo that they click on that's a video, so as soon as I put a video embedded in the newsletter, which both MailChimp and Constant Contact lets you do, I get more click throughs. People click on it, they see the video, then they click on that to sign up. They see the same video because I want them to know they're in the right place, and then they register. Or I could just have the register button right there so they can register if they don't want to go to my website. So I can see which is working better because of the heat map. If I don't have time to do a video, I at least do a photo of me doing the workshop. So it's personalized, it's me, so they know it's authentic. So again, if you got an event coming up, you want to have real people in it. Nothing same as when I'm saying to you what works on social. So how do you get a video in your newsletter, right? How do you do that? So first you create the video, then you upload it to YouTube. So in YouTube, as you know, when you upload anything to YouTube, it's going to give you a unique link to your video. So you copy that unique link and then you click on this that says video, and that will then be added to your newsletter, and you just cut and paste that unique link to your newsletter. So here I'm on YouTube, number one, click on go to your account on YouTube, click on plus, that's going to ask you to upload your YouTube link. And then when you're on YouTube, I'm still on YouTube here. I'm putting in the title, the information about the video itself. Then this is the unique link I'm talking about. So I click on here, which is copy. I copy that link, and then I go back into my e-newsletter, and I click on this thing here, which is video, and I'm now adding that video. So as you can see, this is what the blocks look like. These are all driven by blocks. I could add text. I could add a box of text. I could add a divider, images, a group of images, which is like a gallery. I could add products for sale. I could add codes, but in this case, I'm just adding the video. I click on that, and then it says, okay, so what is that link? So here I'm putting in Control P to paste the actual video link from YouTube, and then it'll automatically show up here on your, it'll show up there in the middle on your newsletter. When people get it, they'll be able to see video. Pretty cool, right? So again, like I said, I have the video on my newsletter, and then when they click on it, I like to have it also on my website. And I find the conversion rate to workshops, at least, because that's what I do, improves by 80% when I have a video on there. They say that people will spend 88% more time on your website, but that's not what today is about. So, as I promised, I was going to share with you before we end, when should you use SMS automation? When should you use SMS as a newsletter? When do you think you should use it? Aha, so this is when you should use it. Appointment reminders, event reminders, that's a big thing. That's when people accept them. They go, oh yeah, I've got this event coming up. So you send them a text message. Customer service or support. If you have somebody coming to your location for something, I like getting the text messages saying that they're on their way, especially when it's CAA and I've broken down at the side of the road. I love those text messages. Okay, I break down too often. That's what happens if you're riding a bus. Order confirmations and shipping updates. You may want those. And again, you're going to say yes or no. Text marketing promotions, not so much. I know that's what people are using it for. I personally don't. I think that's going to increase too much and it's going to become spam. So be very careful at that. But this is a YouTube video showing when people like their SMS. So what features do you think have automation in it? I've already talked about all of these. What can you automate? You can automate subject lines. Like I said, you can put, Kayla's name in the subject line in the body of the actual email. So I've got maybe 2,000 emails, and I have it automatically will put the first name of people in each individual email. So it's like I've written all these individual emails themselves. But the big thing that people use automation for are auto replies and follow-ups. So what you'll find, and again, I'm in MailChimp, but Constant Contact has it as well, is there's a customer journey, and that's what they call it. So they have pre-built journeys already, which I love. So if you have someone who's a new contact, you say, what do you want them to see after they sign up? So it'll ask you, and you'll click on it, and it'll show you, okay, so a week from now, we're sending them this information. A month from now, we're sending them this information. So it says, yeah, I like that. So you click on it and you activate this automated journey. That's fairly new in these tools, and I love these tools. So and then if someone becomes an SMS subscriber, you have an automated tool here that you click on it, see if you want to use it. Or you can create your own. So here it says build from scratch. You can create your own pre-built journey for them. So if someone clicks on this link, you may want to send them more information. If someone clicks on this link, you may want to send them a blog about something, so it's cool. It's like you have all these people working for you all of a sudden, and all you've done was you've spent, a couple of hours creating this automated journey tool. And so here is a really good MailChimp video on how to create these journeys. And they call it's basically a blueprint of what you want people to see. And they will take you through step by step how to create the automation if you're interested. And I also have, down here, I also have a news. I have a whole resource that I haven't sent to you on your actual PDF that shows you all of the lists of videos that MailChimp has for you. So I'll send that through to Kayla so she can send it to you, because this, where I received this from, is a whole big toolkit that MailChimp has for you on resources. It's very useful. Okay, I think that's it.